Mysteries that science can't explain.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Titanic. I'm your host, Alexa. We do a ton of research here, so we're always learning new things. But there are some things that we haven't been able to answer. But you know what? Neither has anyone else.
But before we get into today's video, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the bell so that you never miss any of our upcoming videos. Sticking together. Let's start with a recent phenomenon, which began in March 2019 off the coast of South Africa. Scientists reported a never-before-seen appearance of supergroups of humpback whales. These supergroups consist of up to 200 whales, a massive increase for these solitary animals usually living in pods of 7 whales at most. Scientists aren't sure the reason, but think it might be due to changes in food availability. Hum a little tune. The small city of Taos, New Mexico has something weird in the desert air, and the town is split on what it is. 2% of the townsfolk report hearing a constant buzz sound. The low-frequency hum is described as a whir, hum, or buzz, and it has puzzled scientists and medical professionals. Theories include unusual acoustics of the area's geography, mass hysteria, or even some secret, sinister purpose. A survey revealed that those hearing the sound describe hearing different sounds, which suggests it's a subjective experience and not a single objective sound. It's contagious. Scientists haven't cracked the code yet on why people yawn. This strange part of everyday life has scientists theorizing, but nothing is backed with biological fact. One of the recent theories is that yawning is a thermoregulatory behavior that cools down the brain. But why is it contagious? Apparently, the networks in the brain responsible for empathy and social skills are activated when you see someone yawn, and yawns can be caught cross-species, like between humans and chimpanzees, or you and your dog, but still no real reason why we yawn in the first place. Space Wars. The U.S. Air Force successfully landed an unmanned X-37B orbital test vehicle after 718 days in orbit. Its mission is shrouded in controversy. Many believe it's the start of military space arming and that it's been carrying out classified military operations. The craft was designed to be launched on top of a rocket, then detached, and be able to spend months in space unmanned. Once the mission is complete, the X-37B would deorbit and land on an Air Force runway. Described as a pickup truck with a payload bay about the size of a truck bed, this unique spacecraft can take cargo into space and then return it. For what reason, though? Maybe you'll find out at Area 51. Sixth sense. Everyone has that gut feeling that saves them from danger, but what makes this sixth sense so accurate most of the time? This intuition is something that leaves science stumped. Psychologists explain it as a series of subconscious cues that you pick up from the world around you, and that information then leads you to having the feeling of a sixth sense, as you can't be exactly sure how or why you feel this way, or where you're getting your facts from, but you just kind of know. What's your gut feeling on this one? Cow direction. Scientists have discovered a crazy phenomenon by observing thousands of cows using Google Earth. 70% of cows turn their heads to the north or south while eating or drinking. This strange synchronized movement has been spotted across all continents, regardless of terrain, weather, and other environmental factors. Deja vu. The French phrase déjà vu means already seen and refers to the mysterious feeling of having experienced a moment before. You might see someone drop a tray and get an eerie familiar feeling that you have experienced this exact same scene before. Many think déjà vu is a psychic experience or glimpses of previous lives. As with intuition or the sixth sense, human psychology can offer an explanation of how it occurs, but the ultimate reason for the phenomenon of déjà vu remains a mystery. Lefty or righty. Most humans are right-handed, myself included, but scientists aren't sure what exactly causes this strong lean towards right dominance and what factors line up perfectly to create a left-handed person. In just the past few days, scientists have actually revealed they have found one of the first genetic markers linked to left-handedness.
The new mystery here is that the left-handed gene is somehow linked to superior verbal skills. So for our left-handed viewers, is that true?
Would you like to dance? These curved trees in Russia have scientists stumped. They are nicknamed the dancing forest, as this group of pine trees contorts into spirals and other strange curves. They were planted in Kaliningrad in the 1960s and are the only tree species to ever do this. The locals refer to it as the drunken forest. Could it be extreme winds, unstable soil, or interference from caterpillars? What would you say? Turn up the volume. Fast radio bursts, or FBRs, are constantly entering our airspace by the hundreds every second. These brief and brilliant emissions of radio light are unintelligible to humans and release enough energy to power 500 million suns. So far, astronomers have only been able to identify about 30. One FBR is FBR 121102, which originated outside the Milky Way. Its origin is a young neutron star, but what it's saying, or why, remains a mystery. ESP. Psychic powers and extrasensory perception, ESP, remain one of the top 10 unexplained phenomena of all time, and not just on this list. It is thought that it might be access to another world, the future, or special knowledge that only the chosen possess. Researchers have tested psychic powers, but so far, the results under controlled scientific conditions are negative or ambiguous at best. Psychics and believers argue that ESP can't be tested, and for unexplained reasons diminish in the presence of skeptics and science. So unfortunately, it seems science will never be the tool to explain this gift. Feel connected. Mind over matter is a commonly held mantra. The placebo effect, for example, has seen patients suffering from medical symptoms get cured just by believing a cure to be effective, whether it actually is or not. The influence the mind can have over the body in this way is undeniable, and there is science to back it up. But how it works can't be explained.
It is clear that the body has ways of healing itself that modern medicine can't. Explaining it, however, is enough to give you a headache.
Go deep. The Patom, or Fire Eagle's Nest crater in Siberia, can't be explained. This massive crater is believed by the locals to be associated with death because nothing grows on it and animals won't go near it. The crater is about 500 years old and was first reported by Russian geologist Vadim Kolpakov in 1949. Theories around it stretch from nuclear explosions to spaceships, but the most likely reason is something geological, like a steam explosion during magma emplacement into hydrous rock, or from faulting and decompression of heated hydrous rocks. In the dark. Initially, scientists thought a black hole felt like nothing. Well, not until you reach the event horizon. But now they're leaning towards it feeling like heading straight into a giant wall of fire, completely incinerating you on impact. Sadly, there is no way to send feedback from the other side, and volunteers aren't exactly lining up to try, so it's likely this one will remain unanswered. For the love of water. Evolution of marine animals to land is easy to understand. At that stage in the Earth's development, the land regions contained a large number of untapped resources, and as these animals moved out of the water, they developed limbs to crawl. It was a sensible move, right? But why the ancestors of whales and seals returned back to the water remains unknown. For starters, it is evolutionarily much more difficult for land animals to move into the sea, as learning to swim for walking animals is much more difficult. Sea mammals developed a tail to help propel them, but that came much later, which makes it such a mystery as to what motivated them to go back in the first place. Lost forever. Why did megafauna become extinct? Towards the end of the last ice age, the extinction of megafauna, or giant animals, was almost complete. The closest related living species now are rhinos and elephants. Many believe climate change was the main factor, but there's no hard evidence to support this. Others believe it was due to starvation, but scientists have found preserved mammoths with bellyfuls of undigested greens in Alaska, so that kind of throws that theory out the window. So far, the facts we have are just the tip of the iceberg. Don't make waves. Many are still wondering how water has always managed to exist on Earth. Water in liquid form has been on the planet for nearly 4 billion years, around the same time as the evolution of life. Before that, it seems water was in ice form as the Earth was further from the Sun. We're the only planet with stable bodies of liquid water that we know of. But why is still a mystery. One thing is for sure. It must have been deposited on the Earth via a meteorite or something similar, as the early inner solar system was far too hot for water to condense. Sweet dreams. Dreams will always mystify us, and that's fine, but every day scientists try and figure out why we dream. Is it our subconscious desires coming to the surface? Are we dealing with unsolved problems? Is the universe trying to tell us something? It's strongly believed that our dreams are trying to reveal something hidden in our inner psyche, but the chances of that being proven are for the dreamers. You say tomato. You might never look at a tomato in the same light after hearing this. Tomatoes have more genes than human beings. It's called the C-value paradox, and scientists have dubbed it an enigma. Humans have between 20,000 and 30,000 genes, whereas a tomato has well over 30,000.
How is it possible that it takes more genes to create a tomato than it does a human? Catch us up if you know.
Sleep it off. It's always been believed that whales sleep with their brains still functioning to be alert should predators approach. That all changed when some researchers came upon a group of sleeping sperm whales in the Caribbean. The whales were sleeping, standing up. And to make it stranger, they had no idea the researchers were even there, making the first theory null and void. It was as if the whales were in a state of paralysis. It's now a known fact that sperm whales sleep vertically, but why they do it is another mystery altogether.
That's a lot to ponder all at once, and we haven't even gotten to the coolest mystery yet. But before we do, what is one question you've always wanted answered? Let me know in the comments down below.
1. Going, gone. Almalk Lake, or better known as Jellyfish Lake, is a lake found in Almalk Island in Palau, and it's filled with jellyfish that have evolved over the years to not sting. It's a huge draw card for the area as tourists love swimming in this jellyfish-filled lake. In 1998, every single jellyfish was gone, and in 2000, the lake was once again filled with jellyfish. Where did the jellyfish go, and how did they come back? Another mystery for scientists to try and solve.